In addition to being a well-known actor and director who has won an Oscar, Kevin Costner is considered the master of sports dramas. The actor maintained a strong bond with baseball before landing iconic roles like John Dutton in the Western drama Yellowstone and Jonathan Kent, Superman's adoptive father in Man of Steel. Despite the failure of his baseball career, the actor was able to translate his love of the game to the big screen. Between the 1980s and the early 2000s, Costner starred in a number of baseball films, making him a well-known figure in the sports industry. His career is distinguished by its diversity, spanning from historical westerns directed by Costner to action flicks. Yet, the actor's regular participation in sports films helped him to steadily establish an unmatched reputation in the category. This is how he rose to prominence in sports filmography. Kevin Costner has starred in more than 10 films with a sports theme. Since making his feature debut in 1981's Malibu Hot Summer, Costner has acted in numerous films that either directly or indirectly deal with sports. The first was Chasing Dream, which focused on baseball, the sport that Costner would return to most frequently. It's a really obscure underdog tale about a rural lad who wants to play baseball that was released in 1982. Although Costner plays the hero's elder brother in the film, it wouldn't be long before he starred in a major baseball film. Following his breakthrough performance in the 1985 Western Silverado, Costner went on to portray one of his most recognizable characters to date, Crash Davis of Bull Durham, an experienced catcher assigned to instill some common sense in the young pitcher of the Durham Bulls. Field of Dreams, an incredibly inspirational tale that became an instant classic and made a Costner a baseball superstar, just not on the field, would replace the movie. In addition to these 3 baseball-themed pictures, Costner starred in 2 more, For Love of the Game and The Upside of Anger. Naturally, Costner's reputation as a sports legend extends beyond baseball to include a wide range of other sports and a vibrant cast of roles. American Flyers, Costner's second sports movie, was released in 1985. In it, he plays a sports physician who loves cycling and uses it to heal his family's division. After a string of popular sports films in the 1980s, Costner starred in the following: Tin Cup, in which he plays a former golf prodigy alongside Bull Durham director Ron Shelton. In the boxing movie Play It to the Bone, Costner plays himself in a brief appearance. Narrated by Costner, NASCAR. The Ride of Their Lives is a documentary about auto racing, Draft Day, which stars an actor portraying an NFL general manager attempting to rebuild his team and is aimed at NFL fans. The documentary McFarland, USA, which follows a real-life sports team. The baseball documentary Fastball, which Costner narrates. And Molly's Game, which is considered the low point of Costner's career due to its contentious story about poker and gambling rather than typical sports coverage. Costner's personal and professional lives were altered by baseball. One thing that unites all of Costner's sports films is that they're not just documentaries about sports. All of them have a very inspirational quality that is characteristic of films, that invite audiences to actively feel something, whether they do it by pushing it too far, as in McFarland, USA, or by approaching the subject in a friendly, subjective manner, as in the irreverent Bull Durham. Most popular sports films attempt to make their heroes out of their main characters in order to appeal to a larger audience. Even while the audience may not be interested in the sport in issue, they may still be able to relate to the main character's humanity. Sports films with a character-driven appeal, like Moneyball and I, Tonya, which both won Oscars, succeed in this way. Given how at ease these tales are in the framework of the game, there's a different approach in Costner's sports films, especially the baseball ones. Here, the field serves as the source of inspiration, and Costner's characters, as well as the player and, occasionally, the veteran, have the final say over whether they win or lose. He's an enabler, and Costner's ability to show how the sports relate to him personally is what gives his competitive parts such emotional resonance. One need not even check to see if Costner ever played baseball in order to enjoy his baseball movies. On the screen, the solution is quite evident. Even though Costner never reached the professional ranks, he played baseball at Villa Park with bright prospects like Dennis Burt, a former major league pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. The irony of this entire tale is that baseball wasn't actually Costner's initial love in sports. Although basketball has always captivated the actor, baseball was the sport that catapulted him into popularity and marked a significant turning point in his career in the 1980s. "I would stay out late playing basketball until the streetlights came on and my father came looking for me," Costner recounts in an interview with The Guardian. Since Costner hasn't yet starred in a sports film on his first love, basketball, there's no doubt that his reputation as the king of sports movies endures.